Beautiful. Okay, let's do this. I'm so happy to be here with you. I really mean that. I'm so happy to be here with you right now. Come on, mister. And I hope you're happy to be here too. As a student, I know I've gone into classes before where I feel like the teacher doesn't really want to be there, and that's never a good feeling. So I'm going to tell you, I want to be here. I'm happy to be here. And then as a teacher, you also get students that don't really want to be there. I'm assuming because you took the effort to log into Zoom and do all this, that you actually want to be here. So that's beautiful. We all want to be in the same place at once. And you didn't have a friend that dragged you here into the classroom. So we're under the assumption, which we shouldn't assume anything, but I'm under the assumption, I'm going to go with it because it makes me feel good, that you actually really, really want to be here today. So that's a beautiful thing, is that we've all decided this is where we want to be in this moment. And we're going to kind of pull off the power of that idea of unification and being together. With that said, I'm Maeve McCaffrey. If you're new to me, let me know if you have injuries, if you're pre-postnatal, if there's anything that I can help you with, put it in the chat. I'll get back up. I see some messages popped up. I'll get up in about 3 minutes and I'll check in with those. To start, we're gonna sit. I'm gonna sit cross-legged. If you have a block, you're welcome to sit on a block if that gives you a little more leverage. And we're starting with movement. You're just gonna circle the spine around. We're starting with movement and we're starting with breath, always. Starting with movement, but mostly just breath. Using this movement to kind of get any of the bajiggities out. That's a technical term, in case you're wondering, bajiggities. That kind of restless body stuff that we get, which is usually, not always, but usually a result of sitting for too long or restlessness in the mind even. So just moving in a circle. If you're comfortable doing so, close your eyes. Or simply soften your gaze. And then feel. And I cannot stress that enough. This practice is about feeling, not shutting down, not ignoring. Tuning in, feeling, tapping in. We're going to reverse the direction of the circle. And while we aren't together in a physical room, we are together in a space. We're creating a space for this practice together. And without having the energy of someone next to you, in front of you, behind you, vibe off the energy of knowing that we all chose here as our place to be in this moment. We chose here. Wherever that is, in your home, outside. But we chose in space and time to be together now. You can't be wrong here. Be confident. Notice that inner monologue if you're doubting what you're doing. Don't. We're just doing circles. That's all it is. Feel the breath. And then if you are sitting cross-legged, we're all going to come to still. You're just going to switch the cross of your legs and we'll take a few breaths here in stillness. And then really gently, we're going to start some movement in the neck. You're going to drop your ear to your shoulder, slowly coming around chin to chest, ear to the other shoulder. We're not going to go backwards, we're just going to stay forward inside. Just taking that chin down and then the ear to the side. Be gentle. And then as you're moving here, you might find that there's a space here that needs a little more attention, and then you are welcome to kind of stay there and breathe there. And then pick up the movement when you're ready, or not. Maybe you need stillness more than you need movement. And we're playing with stillness and movement today. That is what these Vinyasa flow classes are about, right? It's not just the flow, but the still. exploring movement, we're exploring our breath, we're exploring our bodies, we're exploring the possibilities within ourselves. Come through center, bring your hands behind your head, press your head back into your hands, open up the heart, yes. Draw the elbows as wide as you can. Feel the shoulder blades connect into the heart, into the back. So your shoulder blades, if you can think of them kind of shaped like this is not the best description, but like the tips of the shoulder blades, just kind of push and lift up. Good, release it around, and then take your feet out in front. Okay, supporting at shins or at hamstrings, wherever you feel good. You're channeling cat and cow here. Exhale, and inhale. Exhale, and inhale. Don't stop there, you're gonna keep going there. I'm just gonna check these messages, which requires glasses. Keep breathing. Oh, Jeff, that's so sweet. I want you all to know that I don't talk about a lot of like life things in class. One, you don't need to know about my life. Like that's not why you're here, is to know about me. And I don't talk a lot about things that are going on in the world because you hear about it all the time. And I think we come here for a break, right? But the third reason that I don't is because I'm super emotional. And I cry a lot. So when you say something nice like that, Jeff, it makes me want to cry. Like that's my whole point in saying that. That was awesome. I'm a weeper. I embrace it. It was really nice when I was pregnant and when I was postnatal because I could blame my hormones on it. But the reality is I've been a crier, a weeper my whole life. Not like because you said something mean to me. That just brings out my inner bitch. It's when you do nice things, oh my God, I weep. And of course, obviously sad things, but yeah. Kindness, kind words, kind actions, whether it's to me or somebody else, oh, you'll get me crying like a baby. Come through center, lift your legs up. And then reach out. We're coming into Navasana. Good. Beautiful. Legs do not have to straighten ever in Navasana. So here's the deal. You're still there breathing. I'm just going to turn on an angle here. It has less to do with how strong your core is and more to do with how open your hamstrings are if you decide to straighten your legs. So if you straighten your legs and it makes you come back here and you're shaking and you feel like I'm torturing you personally, bend your knees and lift your heart. Oh my gosh, it's like a brand new pose. Good. You're going to take your left leg down. Your right leg comes up. You're going to roll onto your back slowly. Keep your shoulders up off the ground. And then float the left leg back up. Breathing. Full inhales and full exhales. We're coming back up into boat pose. So start to bring the legs toward each other. Lift back up, bent knees or straight legs. It's your choice. Beautiful. Take a few breaths here. And I'm going to switch that. Bring the right leg down. You can bring it all the way to the floor to find this transition. Try to keep the shoulders up. Yes, and then float the leg back up if it's okay. We're holding here and we're breathing. We're coming back up into Navasana, and then we're going to alternate this. Lower down, bring it up. Lower down, and then bring it up. So this doesn't have to be straight-legged. Yes? I like to inhale down, exhale up, but I'm not so hung up on where you place the breath as long as you're breathing. You're being good. Yes, you are. Bring it up, hold it up, cross your shins, step back to plank, please. Knees are a very viable option here in plank. So if this makes it more accessible, gives you more confidence in the posture, put the knees down. If you're happy on the toes, fantastic. Legs are strong. Think about hugging the muscles into the bones and the legs and the arms and the fingers and the toes. And with all that work, finding a little bit of softness so that we're not like overly gripping. Shorten belly button to pubic bone. Tailbone for your heels, heart forward. And then lift the hips up. Start to bow the head down. And then downward facing dog. Lightly draw the front ribs to the back ribs. Let the head drop a bit so the ears are between the biceps and the tops of the ears stretch to your thumbs. Lift your heels with an inhale. Stay with me. Walk your feet 1 foot at a time to your hands. Lengthen halfway up. Inhale. And then fold. Exhale. Do that again. Just halfway. Inhale. And then fold down. Exhale. One more time like that. Halfway. Inhale. And exhale, melting down. Root into the feet, stretch the arms wide, rise all the way up to stand. Little pause here. Utkatasana, reaching up. Maybe the gaze moves up toward the fingers. Tailbone down, front ribs soften. Upward facing offering or offering yourself up. One more inhale. Bring your hands into your heart. Exhale. Pause. Breathe in together. Open your mouth side out. And then seal the lips, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. You always have that releasing breath if you need it. I don't do it a lot, so if you need it, take it. Take it, just like everything else. The breath is yours to play with, just like the postures. I encourage you to play in your practice. I really do. Go off script. You don't have to stay on my script. Release the hands down. Inhale. Reach up. Rise up. Hinge at the hips forward. Fold. Long spine. Hands to ground or to blocks. Come halfway. Inhale. Hands can come up onto your shins if you need to, and then plant your hands. If that means you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Plant your hands. We're making a transition from your hands to your feet. Step back to plank. Take an inhale in plank. Chaturanga Dandasana or the floor. Cobra or upward facing dog. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. Pause here and breathe. Feel your hands in the ground. Yes. Beautiful. Rise up to your toes, inhale. And then bend your knees, bring your feet up to your hands. Halfway, inhale. And fold, exhale. Inhale, rise to stand. Fill up, fill up, fill up. Draw your hands into your heart. Exhale. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, rise. Downward facing dog, exhale. Rise to your toes, inhale. Stretch your hips back, look at your thumbs, bring your feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise, inhale. And draw your hands into your heart, exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hinge and bow. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Curl the heart to the sky, offer it up. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, feet to your hands. Halfway inhale. Fold, exhale. Rise, inhale. Draw your hands into your heart with your exhale. Bend your knees. Lower your hips, keep the heart up. Utkatasana Chair. Balance your weight in your feet. Lift your gaze, lift your heart. Soften the front ribs. And then still keep the toes rooted down, even though the heels are taking a lot of the weight. Can you pull the arms up a little more? Maybe you can't. If that does weird things to your neck or your shoulders or your back, leave them forward, totally fine. Push into your right foot, pick up your left knee. Bend your elbows out to the side like a cactus. Cross your left leg on top of your right, maybe wrap it. And then bring your left arm under your right arm and come into eagle. I know that was like boom, we're in eagle. So go easy, go easy. And then take the time to kind of balance the pelvis here. The hips are doing the same thing, but not, because you've got one leg on top, one leg under, and just find where you are in space. So for me, I have to lower my left hip and lift my right hip just a smidge. And then my left hip has to draw back a little bit and my right hip forward. That might not be what you're feeling, but if it is, if that resonates, then do it. And that's not what you're feeling. What are you feeling? What do you feel in your pelvis here? Stretch the fingers forward. Steady the gaze. You've got 4 more breaths. Maybe sink a little deeper. We are unraveling into half moon. So you're going to unravel the legs, unravel the arms. If you have a block, consider using it. Right hand forward, slightly out to the right of that right pinky toe, and then rolling open. Left hand to the sky if it's okay. Use this bottom hand like crazy. Plug the right shoulder into the back, the arm into the shoulder socket, and then stretch the left hand up even higher. Drop on the thighs on both legs, kneecaps lifting up onto the quadriceps. Stay with me, keep breathing. One more inhale, soften your right knee. Step your left foot back and kind of spot it back. And then rise up, square your feet to the side of your mat. Yeah. Sweep your right arm up, take your left hand behind your back. Good. Just stretch the fingers in opposition. So right hand up, left hand down. I am not mirroring you. I'm going to give you a back view though. This hand's going to slide up your back. This might be it. This might be it. And then we bend the elbow. The hands might not come together, but they might. If you have a strap for a towel, come there. Please no suffering. Please no suffering. And then your head gently, gently presses into the right arm. Front ribs soften. Squeeze the feet toward each other gently. Lift the heart up a little higher as your tailbone extends toward the floor. You can lose the arms if you need to. You're going to bow forward into Prasarita Padottanasana. Wide leg forward fold.
Balance your weight in your feet. Notice if you're all in your heels, shift into the toes a little bit. Good, inhale halfway up. You're gonna bend the right knee, you're gonna sink. We're gonna release the arms. Right hand comes down. Left arm sweeps up. You're in Skandasana at the top of the mat. Your left leg is straight, your right knee is bent. You don't have to be that low. You can be here. You can be here. Beautiful. Beautiful. If you want to wrap this, go for it. So wraps are not for everyone. Like physically, they're just not for everyone. So notice your response here. That's why I say, like, no suffering. Don't do it just because your ego is like, I should do that. I should do that. There's no shoulds. What you should do is what's right for your body. So if this is accessible and it feels good, great. If it's accessible but it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it ever. Just keep opening up the heart. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Beautiful. Last breath in. Come around to the top of the mat with your left hand. Pivot all the way onto the pinky side of your left foot and then opening into Vashisthasana. Step that right leg back. Really nice. You're going to take your right forearm. You're going to bring it down to the ground. You're going to bring your left forearm down to the ground. You are in a forearm plank, please. You're going to bring your right hand pretty much where your right elbow is currently. So put the right hand down, push down, lift up to the left hand, straight arm plank, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale high to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, feet up to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Chair, inhale. So start to shift your weight into your left foot. Lift your right knee up. Go straight up. Go straight up. Bend the elbows out like a cactus. And then cross the right leg or wrap the right leg around the left leg for eagle legs. Way back when we did this, right? Right arm comes under the left arm. And then full eagle. And then notice where you are. Are your hips swinging out to the right? Is one dropping and one is hiking? Just start to balance the pelvis to the best of your ability. You gotta feel what's happening in order to do that. Gorgeous, yes. And there's this wrapping action in the arms and in the legs. It's not just about getting here and then perching and being like passive. You're wrapping. Wrap the arms into each other, wrap the legs into each other. Creating energy, creating space, that sense of buoyancy, strength. We're moving from eagle into half moon, so unraveling. And then left hand a little forward, a little out to the side of that left foot. And then open up. And then both legs equally strong. Even though your left leg is weight bearing, your right leg is doing just as much, stretching that foot away from the head. Contain the front ribs a little bit, just draw them into the back body. Keep that right foot ankle awake, alive. Last
And start to bend the standing leg. You can spot the right foot toward the back of the mat. And then rise up. Square off your feet. Really nice. And then left arm comes up, right arm comes down. Right hand works up the back. Left hand works down the back. They do not have to come together. If putting your right arm behind your back throws you into a back bend, like this, consider putting your hand at your hip instead. Take a few breaths, build the strength of the legs, be willing to let go of the arms if you need to. Inhale, lift your heart, and then exhale, bowing forward. Mr. Come here. Inhale halfway up, bend that left leg, start to turn the right toes up, and then we open up Skandasana. Maybe you wrap it. Good. Right hand comes around to the top of the mat. You're going to spin all the way onto the pinky side of your right foot. Vashistasana. Plug this right shoulder into your back. Draw the arm up into the shoulder socket. Root down for more energy upward. Beautiful. You're going to take your left forearm down to the ground. Right forearm down to the ground. Breathe. Left hand's going to come where your left elbow is currently. Your right hand's going to go where your right elbow is, or something like that. And then chaturanga is optional. Up dog. And downward facing dog. Little pause here. Soft, even, smooth breath. Rise to your toes, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Chair, inhale. Pick up your left leg, bend the elbows out to the side. Cross your left leg on top of the right. We're doing the same sequence, just a wee bit faster. Left arm comes under, right arm on top. Full eagle. And then opening half moon. Yes. Step your left foot back. Square your feet, right arm up, left arm behind. Inhale, heart to sky. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway up. Right heel turns in, sinking Skandasana. Any arm variation that you'd like. And then left hand comes around, top of the mat. Vashistasana, any version of Vashistasana. And then right forearm comes down. Left forearm comes down. Right hand. Left hand. Chaturanga. Open, inhale. And down dog, exhale. Inhale, high to your toes. Bend your knees, feet to your hands. Halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Chair, inhale. Pick up your right knee, bend the elbows. Cross right on top of left. Right arm under left. Perch, sink if it's there for you. And then take off and fly, half moon. And then rising up. Straighten that front leg, left arm comes up, square off the feet. Maybe taking Gomukhasana arms. And then bowing forward. Halfway up, sinking into the left hip for Skandasana. And then coming around, Vashisthasana. Yes, left forearm comes down, right forearm comes down, left hand, right hand, Chaturanga. Move through Vinyasa and pause, downward facing dog. So beautiful.
High to your toes, inhale. Don't go anywhere though. You're gonna exhale, roll through your spine. Keep your chin to your chest until you come all the way forward. Come up onto the balls of the feet, pull the heart through.
And then right knee into your chest, place your right foot forward. Crescent Pose, rising up the center. Yeah, so good. So good. Hands behind the head, elbows. So I'm actually taking my hands and I'm cupping the back of my head to give myself like a little traction. Allow the head to drop back into the hands gently as you lift up with the hands, and then let the elbows go out wide. Inhale, sweep the arms back up. Draw your hands into your heart, tip forward. Tip forward, push off the back foot. Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. If you need some more support, this is not necessarily an easier pose in the version I'm about to give you. You can stay right here. If you want to make it harder, arms overhead. If you need more support and you have blocks, put them under your shoulders and hold here. It doesn't make it easier in the sense of your alignment. It gives you more feedback. So in some ways it's a little tougher because you get this amazing feedback from the arms, but it does give you better balance. So if that's being prioritized, then use your blocks. Good. Now, you're going to start to melt forward into standing splits. You are welcome to have your hands on the blocks or on the floor, but just see if maybe you don't need to use your hands on the ground. So that could be hands at heart, that could be hands reaching up behind you. Couple more breaths, stay in it, stay in it. Release your hands down, step back, plank, Chaturanga. Open and rise, and dog pose, exhale. Pause and dog. Don't go anywhere, just lift the heels up. Roll through your spine, so scoop the belly in. Front ribs to back ribs, round the back like you're in cat's pose. Shoulder blades spread, chin stays in, until you get to the cervical spine, and then lift up And through. And then left knee into your chest. Place your left foot forward. Crescent Pose, rising up. Bring your hands behind your head. Cradle the back of the head. Give yourself a little traction upward. Elbows drop open. Maybe sink a little deeper. Back ribs support you. Gentle low belly engagement. So from belly button to pubic bone. Just shorten slightly and let that support you. Tailbone long, low back long. Keep that really gentle lift in the back of the head. Keep that space, reach the arms back up. Bring your hands into your heart and tipping forward. Pushing off the back toes. Warrior three. Same options. Your belly is helping to hold that back leg up. Think back to that core work we did in the beginning of class. The right hip is also holding the leg up. So hip extension to lift the leg. Keep lifting up on the left hip crease. And then think forward fold. Just start to bow, 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 standing splits. Take one more inhale. Hands down, step back. Vinyasa or just straight to down dog. Good. Pause in downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Smooth it out. Slow down. You're amazing. Stay with it. Really nice. Really nice. Confidence. It's in you. Everything you need is in you. Rise high into your toes. Don't go anywhere. Roll through your body. Roll through, roll through, roll through. Heart pulls up. Inhale. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Crescent. Inhale. Bring the hands right behind the head. Exhale. Inhale, open up. And then exhale, come forward, warrior three. 2 standing splits. Into chair. Good, now pause, listen, just listen. Pick up the right knee, bend the elbows. You're standing on your left leg. Cross right on top of left, wrap if you want. Right arm comes under left, eagle. Maybe keep the arms, maybe open into half moon. And then step, right foot to the back. Left arm comes up, square the feet. Gomukhasana arms if you want, lift the heart. And bow forward. We've been here, yes, halfway. Skandasana into the left hip at the top of the mat. Any arm variation that suits you. And then come around, right hand to the top of the mat. Pivot all the way to the right side of the foot, the pinky side of the foot I should say. Vashisthasana. Left forearm down. Right forearm down. Left hand. Right hand. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog and pause. Couple breaths, just let that settle in. Now you know where we're going with it. It is 100% in your body. Do not doubt yourself. Come into the toes, roll through the spine. Keep the chin into the chest, get that nice stretch. And then opening up. Left knee into your chest. Place your left foot forward. Rise up to crescent, inhale. Bring the hands behind the head. Traction yourself open, inhale. And then exhale, draw forward. Take off, warrior three. And then bow, exhale. Feet come together. Chair. Left knee lifts. Bend the elbows. Cross left arm under, coming into eagle. Maybe keep these arms, steady your gaze, and then open into half moon. And the legs. And then stepping, left foot back. Yes. Square off the feet, right arm up. And then bowing forward. And then come halfway up. Pivot this heel around, sink. Any version in Skandasana. Left hand comes to the ground, top of the mat. We roll open onto the left hand, left foot, Vashisthasana. And then right forearm comes down, left forearm down. Right hand, left hand, optional Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Really beautiful.
Take your feet as wide as your mat. Shorten your stance. Probably a foot, like your own foot, not 12 inches, but like your own foot's length.
Actually, maybe more if you have little feet, you need to come in 2 of your feet probably.
It's kind of a reverse equation. Left hand to your right ankle, your calf. Try to root the heels as much as you can. They might be floating and that's okay, but pressing the heels down. Push into that right hand. Just give yourself a little twist here. Release. Reset. Strong foundation before you move into the second side. Come back through center. Knees come down.
If you have a block, I would suggest using it. If you don't, you're going to pretend you have a block between your ankles so that your feet can't move toward each other. So imaginary block is good too. Hands under the shoulders. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Take 2 breaths here. Push into the left arm, reach the right hand up. Squeeze the feet into your real or imaginary block. And then right hand threads under the left arm. Release the right shoulder, the right temple into the ground. Notice if your hips sway off to the left. Hug the hips back equal. Press the feet down as if you were an upward facing dog. And then maybe take this left arm overhead. Stretching the right fingers away from the shoulder and then energetically pulling back. So if you don't have a block and your imaginary block suddenly got squishy, just notice how this right foot wants to kind of travel over to the left. For most of us, that's what happens. Keep pushing the feet straight down. Try to get all the toenails down. Breathe. Notice where you go in stillness. Can you stay present? Can you stay in the breath, stay in sensation, stay on your mat mentally as well as physically? Last inhale. Exhale, bring the left hand under your shoulder if it's not already there. What will be under your shoulder? Push down, come back to center. 2 rounds of cow and cat. Come through neutral. Left arm up to the sky. Stay for a couple breaths. Your exhale threads under. And then maybe the right arm comes overhead if it feels good. And then everything that's in the ground is part of your foundation. So shoulder, left arm. See if you can get all your fingernails on the left hand down. And then you can be on fingertips in the right hand or full palm, whatever feels better to you. I like fingertips. It gives me a sense of kind of rising energy, but play with where you need to be. And then feet. Use the feet down. Full breaths in. Watch the exhales fully out. At the end of the exhale, feel a little lift in the low belly as you empty. As the diaphragm travels upward in your torso. Last full breath here. You're going to draw the right hand back in so that you're nice and stable. You're going to push down and come back to hands and knees. Perfect. You're going to bring your elbows down to the ground. If you have blocks, you can put blocks under your elbows. And then think cow and cat here. So inhaling, dropping the heart toward the floor, maybe pulling the gaze forward a bit. And then exhale, rounding the back. You can drop the head and get that sense of flexion. Inhale, extension. Exhale, flexion. Good. Do that a few times. So good. Yes, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. One more breath here. And then bring the hands around, the forearms around. Few options here. So if your shoulders are on the tighter side, I would lace your hands, push your outer arm down and let that be your foundation. If your shoulders feel a little more open, and maybe you don't know until you try it, and that's fine, we're going to keep the arms in parallel, thumbs gently drawing toward each other, pinky finger gently spiraling outward, and that's going to help to keep the arms in parallel. So lace the hands if you want, or arms in parallel. Tuck your toes, come into Dolphin. So starting with your gaze toward your toes, just like you would if you were in downward facing dog, your ears between your biceps, front ribs gently drawing in, deepening the crease of the hips, maybe dropping the heels down and getting a little more into the calves and the hamstrings, but maybe it feels better to be up onto your toes. And so play with that. You're gonna take a few more breaths here. Yeah, so good. And then knees down. Release the feet. Take the knees wide if it feels better on your body. Come into child's pose. Just take a little pause. And then notice how your body responds. So it's really important to take this moment after and notice, does that flare up your upper back? Does that flare up your neck? If it does, maybe you need to take a little gentler approach, or maybe you'll come back to downward facing dog instead. If you want, you can move yourself to a wall. We're going to start to move to pincha. Here's the deal. You don't ever have to go all the way upside down, and I'm going to give you lots of ways to be in Pincha Mayurasana. First way, go to the wall, put your feet to the wall. Hopefully I don't break my window here. Short stance in Dolphin, and then feet come up like that. I'm not going to risk it and push my window through. Otherwise, your setup is here. Come back into Dolphin, but this time in Dolphin, start to bring your gaze toward the space between your arms. And then you're going to step the left foot a little closer in and take the right leg up. So this might be it, just channeling like standing splits. Maybe you start to bend the left knee and start to get a little more tip. And then what happens is you might just float that left foot up off the ground. But with that said, you don't have to go up. Of course, if you're comfortable in Pincha, go for it. Take it right up. Yeah. You can also kick up to the wall. Yeah. Couple more breaths here with the right leg as your lifted leg. And then both feet down. If you're holding Pincha, feel free to stay. Come back into a child's pose. This is that moment where you receive what you just did. It gives you an opportunity to check in and get the feedback. And then to adjust if you need to on the second side, which we're gonna do right now. You don't have to come, you can stay in child's pose if that serves you more. Come back into dolphin. Bring the gaze a little bit forward. Step the right foot in a little closer, lift the left leg up. Maybe just stay there or start to take these little hops. And I like to keep it like really soft in the hops rather than really aggressive, because if you go really aggressively, you're probably gonna flip over. And you might not, but kind of temper it. Yeah, you look amazing. Beautiful. Just have fun with it. Last 2 breaths. And then come on down, flip over onto your backs. So good. Shoulders, press down. Palms face your face. So palms towards your face. Fingers to the sky. Press your feet down. Lift up through your hips. And then stretch the arms long. Back of the arms pushing down. Maybe slide the hands under the hips. Lace the fingers and draw the shoulders under. Setu Bandha Sharvangasana, shoulder supported bridge pose. So you're really using your shoulders as if you are in a shoulder stand, pressing them down. One last inhale. Release down with your exhale. Pause, receive the feedback. If you're really comfortable in Pincha Mayurasana and you want to work on scorpion instead of doing back bends on your back, you can flip over and go there now. I'm going to stay here today. Bridge again or upward facing bow. Root the hands, root the feet. Inhale, rise up. Smooth, soft, steady breath. Your exhale brings you out. Pause, receive the pose, receive the feedback, find the breath. That might be good for you. Maybe 2 is all you needed. If 3 is better for you, we go one more time. Inhale, rise up. Any variation, if you want to pick up a leg, and then exhale to come back up. Happy baby, or knees into your chest. Rock side to side if it feels good. Hi, bud. It's my little house panther. If it feels good, extend the legs all the way out to straight. You do not have to hold your feet though. You can hold anywhere on your leg. Neutralize your spine as best you can. Good, come back to happy baby, extend the left leg out on the ground, bring the right foot over toward your left shoulder, bending the right knee, recline pigeon, just holding the knee with your right hand to right knee, left hand to right foot. Broaden the chest, draw the elbows toward the ground. And then release the foot. Bring your left hand to your right knee and take a twist all the way across. Look over to the right if it's okay. Come back to center. And then switching. So right leg out, take the left foot with the right hand, Support at the knee with the left hand, please. And then bringing your right hand off of the foot over to the knee and then twisting. Left knee to right, left arm out to the side. Just take a few breaths there. Really nice. Yes, yes. So beautiful. Love it. Come back to center, squeeze your knees into your chest one more time. And then release the legs out, Shavasana. If you would rather finish seated, come on up. Otherwise, let it go, lie down. Allow your eyes to soften, close if it's comfortable. Release your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs. Feel a softness come across the belly, across the heart, the neck, the throat. Cheeks, lips, tongue, and your throat, everything just softens. If you're seated with me, bare minimum to hold yourself up. See if you can allow the breath to hold yourself up. And then we receive the practice we gave as an offering to ourselves. Start to notice the breath again. And just notice how the simple act of bringing your attention back to your breathing sometimes changes it. Maybe it deepens. Maybe it softens even more. And then as you are ready, reawaken your body. And if you are lying down, you'll find your way to seated. If you're seated, you're already home. And we'll meet together with our hands in prayer at our hearts. We all chose to be here together today in this moment in time, from all over. And I'm so grateful that you made that choice. Thank you for your practice and bringing your energy and your vibe to this space. Have a beautiful day.